Hi everyone, Sandra here, and today I wanted to show you the little itty bitty garden I'm tending this summer. Let me start off saying I'm sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I tried to pick a day where it wasn't windy, but it just so happens to be the day that the neighbors, who apparently play in a marching band, rehearse, and there is a bit of traffic. But anyhow, to start off with, here are strawberries. These are the strawberries I bought the day Paul passed away. And so they sat in their containers for, geez, I want to say about 3 weeks before I ever planted them, and I wasn't sure if they'd make it or not. And 4 of them are doing really well. The center ones I thought were dead, but they're coming back, so that's nice. And my grandson Jack has managed to pick a few berries so far, so I think that's really good. And I think next year my son and daughter-in-law will have a nice little strawberry bed. And here we go. This is a bed that some of my sons made for me on Mother's Day, and I think it was just so incredibly thoughtful and good of them to do that. They know how much I love gardening, and they knew that I would be spending the majority of my summer down here at my son's house in the Milwaukee area, so they built me this bed. So I knew my son and daughter-in-law were not canners, and my canning stuff is up at the cabin, and I just wasn't going to plant enough to really do any serious canning. So I asked them what they would like in the garden. And my son said he wanted stuff to make fresh salsa. And my daughter-in-law said she wanted cucumbers. Cucumbers and peppers. So that's kind of the stuff I planted, but I'll show you little by little each thing that's in the bed here. Okay, over here on the left there are 3 different tomato plants. This first one here is our cherry tomatoes. The center one is Roma, because those do really well, for salsa. And then the far back is beefsteak, or slicing tomatoes, so they could have them, on their sandwiches or hamburgers, salads, whatever they want. So far with this weather, these tomato plants seem to be growing wider as opposed to taller. But we have warmed up. We seem to be having a little bit more warmer days than we have in the past. And it's still only maybe mid-June, so I'm not worried about it. I have picked off quite a few blossoms already because I want the plants to grow taller before they start, flowering and thinking about fruiting. And as you can see, they really do need to be pruned. So I will be getting to that pretty darn soon. So here in the garden, I do have 6 different marigold plants because the flowers are just so pretty, and they do help repel some pests in the garden. And then right down here, if you can see that, I did plant some cilantro. It's been slow going, but it's finally starting to do a little something, and maybe in a few weeks I will plant a few more seeds so that they have it for throughout the summer, because cilantro is kind of a short-lived herb. But if you do let it go to seed, then you will have coriander. So if you are growing cilantro, remember that. Now straight ahead, I planted 3 different plants. Now mind you, I did buy almost all of these as plants, as small seedlings, except the cilantro. So at home, yes, I would grow from seed, but we were really behind on the season and everything, so I did buy small plants. Like I said, Mother's Day-ish. So okay, so the parsley here were the little seedlings, and it's doing great. That center plant, though, there's a big tow truck. that center plant is lavender. And I got that as a gift for Mother's Day. And it's a particular lavender that seems to be almost tropical because it is only hardy outdoors down to zone 8. So I guess you would treat it more as a house plant, but you'd have to have some really bright light to keep it indoors. So it is being treated this year as an annual. And then right beyond that, right here, is the basil. And I planted some herbs in the garden along with the other things they wanted, because, you know, herbs are a beautiful thing to have, especially for cooking. And the herbs I planted, you can dry and then store for use later. Okay, so then, right, I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Right here and here are 2 small habanero plants. Now, habaneros are pretty hot. I do not like to eat those myself, but my son likes using them in cooking, and so I actually do a few of my other sons. So we'll share with everyone, but I'm going to use them. I'm going to take some of the peppers and keep them and dry them, and I use that hot pepper oil in my muscle rubs. And even if you don't make a muscle rub, if you make cayenne, habanero, whatever hot pepper you choose to use, if you make an oil out of that, you can use it just straight oil if you like on your aching joints or a bad back or whatever. It really does help. I mean, I do recommend using other ingredients as well, and I'll put a link to my video for making a muscle rub in the description box, but just keep that in mind. Okay, and next to the habanero plants are 2 cucumber plants, and I just wanted to show you guys that we do have little baby cucumbers going. So that'll be nice to have some fresh cukes in probably a week or so. And then over here we have 4 pepper plants, and I actually bought 3 different varieties. And I did that on purpose so that when my son and daughter-in-law want to use this bed again next year and are trying to decide what they want to plant, they can maybe look and see which pepper plants did the best and perhaps purchase those again. So I left the little tags by each one of the plants, and I did the same thing with the cucumbers because I planted 2 different varieties of those. And then I left the habanero ones there, and then the different varieties of tomatoes as well. And then right over there, I also planted oregano. I mean, come on, if you're gonna cook Italian at all, and a whole lot of other dishes too, you gotta have some oregano. So I made sure to put some in the bed for them. So right now I need to add a little bit more straw, a little more mulch to the bed. I was waiting a while because I wanted the cilantro to come up a little bit more before I did that. And through the rains and stuff, you can see there's just not enough straw in there. And if I do have it mulched well enough, then it will retain more moisture. I won't have to water as often, and there will be less weeds. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just wanted to show you, you know, something I was up to, and encourage anybody that if you feel you don't have enough room to garden, whether it's a small bed or 2 like this, or even just a few containers, go ahead and grow something. Just go ahead and do it. You'll feel better that you did. It's a wonderful thing to do. Gardening is just a wonderful hobby. But as homesteaders, yeah, we like to try and grow as much as we can of what we eat. So anyhow, let me know about your gardens. How are your gardens looking this year? Has the weather done anything to them? Is it good? Is it bad? Growing anything new? Let me know down in comments. I'd appreciate it. It was nice talking to you. And you take care.